He explained, "This new book inferring that Charles was racist is nonsense. He just asked an innocent question when he asked what color the baby would be. That's TMS, just curiosity that most people have, and it can never be answered until the birth. When I married Doria and she was pregnant with Meghan, some of our friends asked the same question, and they were not racists, they were just curious. It was nothing more than a simple innocent question. The very same with Prince Charles. It TMS very apparent that my strong Scottish, English genes were dominant." Mr. Markle also told Mr. Wootton whoever asked the question was doing so innocently and could show someone was inherently racist. A new US book was written by Christopher Andersen called Brothers and Wives, Inside the Private Lives of William, Kate, Harry and Meghan, which points the finger at Prince Charles. The book alleges that Prince Charles questioned the skin tone of Archie in 2017 on the morning Harry and Meghan announced their engagement. It claims Charles spoke to Camilla and asked, "I wonder what the children will look like," which saw Camilla somewhat taken back. A claim that has been vehemently denied by the prince's representatives. Jeremy Irons says Meghan Markle's struggle in royal life is huge shame for our monarchy. Kate's mother Carol Middleton shares glimpse of George, Charlotte and Louis' Christmas. Meghan Markle's awkward moment with Gary Barlow after she thought he joked serious. A spokesperson for Prince Charles commented on the allegations against him and said, "This is fiction and not worth further comment." Prince Harry is also writing an autobiography about his time in the royal family and the army, which is expected to be published next year. In a new My5 documentary titled 2021, The Queen's Terrible Year, royal experts discussed Harry's book. Andrew Neil said, "The book itself may cause the royal family more anguish because it has never really been done before. The Duke of Windsor did write a book, but years and years after his abdication. Harry's gone down a road for which there is no good ending because every book will have to be more sensational than the last. It's almost like he's still settling scores." Dan Wootton tonight airs on GB News at 9 p.m. from Monday, Thursday. Broadcaster was due to publish a 5-part podcast alongside the controversial documentary series exploring the relationship between the royal family and the press. However, it has reportedly been delayed amid concerns about how Buckingham Palace will respond to the second episode. BBC sources who spoke to The Telegraph admitted that the podcast, also hosted by media editor Amol Rajan, will instead be released as a box set at a later date. One claimed it was still in production as they awaited royal reaction to last night's TMS episode. The second episode of the series, being broadcast at 9 p.m. tonight on BBC Two, focuses on the departure of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The BBC approached Buckingham Palace, Clarence House and Kensington Palace for comment about the princes and the press. They provided the following joint statement: "A free, responsible and open press is of vital importance to a healthy democracy. However, too often overblown and unfounded claims from unnamed sources are presented as facts, and it is disappointing when anyone, including the BBC, gives them credibility." Additional reporting by Millie Cook and Isabella Marsons. Meghan Markle, 40, and Prince Harry, 37, stepped away from royal duties in 2020. The couple, along with their first child Archie, now 2, moved to the US to pursue a financially independent life away from the firm. Since then, the Sussex family has grown, with the latest addition being baby Lilibet Lily trademark Diana, who was born in June. The baby, who is the Queen TM's 11th great-grandchild, was named after Her Majesty, although it is understood the pair are yet to meet. Since their move to the US, Prince Harry has only returned to UK soil on 2 occasions, and neither times with his wife and children in tow. The Duke of Sussex returned to Britain in April to attend the funeral of Prince Philip, who died aged 99. He also returned in July to unveil a statue of his late mother, Princess Diana. The Duke was joined by his brother Prince William as they unveiled the commemorative work of the Princess of Wales at the sunken garden of Kensington Palace. Since then, He has returned to his Montecito property with his family. The couple undertook a 3-day visit to New York back in September, marking their first public appearance since the birth of their daughter. However, over the past week, a heavily mutated COVID variant has been identified, which has been rapidly labeled a variant of concern by the World Health Organization. The new variant, named Omicron, makes any potential UK visits from the Sussexes unlikely. Stricter measures requiring people travelling to the UK to take a PCR test and isolate in the days following their arrival were announced by the government on Saturday. The variant has mutations that theoretically help it to spread more quickly, meaning there could be further restrictions placed on travel that would prevent the family from coming across the pond. This means it may be a little while longer before Queen Elizabeth II, 95, can meet her namesake. This is not the first time that COVID-19 has impacted the couple though. Following the Duke of Edinburgh TMS funeral in April, Harry is understood to have returned to Frogmore Cottage, the property he and wife Meghan were gifted by the Queen following their 2018 wedding. This was in line with COVID rules in force at the time, which stated that people travelling to the UK must isolate for 10 days. It is understood that he was allowed to attend the funeral on compassionate grounds, but the rules stated he must remain in isolation at all other times. At the time, Meghan was pregnant with baby Lilibet, and was advised not to travel by her doctors. She also noted that Lilibet has begun to teeth and that 2-year-old Archie loves to dance. She also said that her husband loves their life in California, adding, "We TM've just been able to spend a lot of time at home, and creating our home. We TM just happy." Queen TM's youngest son, 57, has been among the senior royals standing in for Her Majesty in recent weeks. It comes as the 95-year-old monarch has been resting after she was believed to have received advice from doctors following her packed recent schedule. Last week Edward delivered the Queen TMS message to the General Synod, the Church of England TMS National Assembly. Speaking on behalf of the Queen, the Earl of Wessex described the pandemic as a time of anxiety, of grief, and of weariness. Edward and his wife, Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, are among the Queen TM's most loyal subjects, who the monarch is able to depend on to deliver key messages. However, in his younger years, Edward had a reputation as one of the royal family TM's more controversial characters. The Earl is credited with one of the firm TM's greatest PR blunders of all time. It's a royal knockout trademark. Edward organized and starred in the 1987 charity event alongside his sister, Princess Anne, brother, Prince Andrew, and sister-in-law Sarah Ferguson. Despite enthusiasm from Edward, a passionate thespian the day drew a damp response from the media, much to the royal TM's disappointment. The expert spoke for the 1999 documentary, Prince Edward and Sophie Rhys-Jones, The True Story Trademark, which was filmed in the run-up to the couple TM's wedding that year. She said, "The day that he was filming It's a Knockout Trademark, it was a horrible day. The weather was foul. The media sat drenched in the rain all day long. So, at the end of the day when he came in for a press conference with everybody, and he said, 'Don TMT, you think that was wonderful? Trademark?' They also said, 'Well, no, not really trademark.'" Ms. Wade said that the media had hardly any access to the royals at the event. She added, "They certainly weren't TMT allowed to get any pictures because Edward had done an exclusive deal, and they were all thoroughly fed up." The documentary includes footage of Edward from the press conference in which he addresses reporters. He said, "I only hope that you TMV enjoyed yourselves. Have you?" Before being met with almost complete silence. The prince replied, "Well, thanks for sounding so BY enthusiastic. What have you been doing in here all day?" He then asks the media what they thought of the event, before storming out of the press conference after again being met with a lackluster response. Ms. Wade claimed that Edward took the lukewarm feedback from the press as a terrible personal criticism. She said, I remember one reporter filing a story that he flounced out of the press conference like a ballerina with a ladder in her tights. He was just not prepared to see the other side of the story. He couldn't see that this huddled mass of wet reporters and photographers were just thoroughly fed up and wanted to go home. Prince Edward and Sophie Rhys-Jones, The True Story trademark is available to watch on YouTube.